Well, good morning guys, Sean here. I'm shooting this from my new studio setup this morning. The time that I'm filming this is now 8 a.m. I'm not much of a morning person, but when I woke up this morning, I looked over at my studio because this is a decent portion of my bedroom. Well, not really, but it's straight across from where I sleep. And I was just feeling inspired and motivated. So yeah, I wanted to do a quick little video, give you some knife content since it's been a little while, and yeah, so I wanted to start off with what I'm carrying today, and that is my Microtech SOCOM Elite Tanto. I'll probably bring you over to the tabletop view, which I have set up, and let you guys get a closer look at this. If you guys cannot see this well, I'll have to go back through this and check it out, see how it's looking. This is kind of a test run in a way, but yeah, this is a beast of a knife. Excellent quality, extremely sturdy, very durable. This knife, I would trust my life on it for it to withstand just as much or more than any other knife that I have, including the Hinder knives I have, which I'm not happy with Rick Hinder right now. I love Hinder knives still, so I'm not gonna bullshit you and act like I don't like the knives. I do. I have a lot of money invested in it. A lot of money invested in them. My XM18s were my first knife that I purchased for myself, over $400, and I've bought 3 of them. My first one now has maybe $800 into it after doing the hardware and the scale and everything. And then I did the same thing with my third one. The second one was a skinny, and I ended up selling that. So I have a lot into each of my XM18s. They're both customized and personalized. They're not knives that I would ever sell. I've put my own edges on both of them. So I have a connection with those 2 knives, but I don't want to be promoting them. Now I promise you guys that I always keep it real with you guys, and I think that's why a lot of you like this channel. And there's not a whole lot that I can say bad about the Hinder knives. Both of my XM18s are amazing in many different ways. Now, they both came with a horrible factory edge, which was sharpened at a very high angle, which was completely useless for cutting. They both come from the factory with a very thick blade grind, which is pretty much not useful at all for cutting. The only thing I could see it being of use for straight out of the box is maybe tactical roll, self-defense roll for stabbing. But even then, if someone's wearing like some thick clothing, you might have trouble getting it through there, because it's just the geometry of everything, and it having a dull, high angled edge on top of it is just, it's not a high performing combination. But regardless of that, I was able to sharpen both of them up, put a nice edge on them, get them to both cut acceptable. They don't cut great, but they cut decent. Just your edge. Regardless, you can have horrible blade geometry. Okay, you can. This is not an example of poor blade geometry. I actually really, for a hard use knife, this blade geometry is very impressive. But say if this was a lot thicker, just laying the angle of the edge back is going to increase your cutting performance tremendously. Now, if it's a thicker blade, you can't expect it to be a laser beam. It's not going to slice through dense material very easily, but I promise you it will make a very, very big, very noticeable difference, improvement wise in cutting performance. So, back on track now. The other knife that I'm carrying today is my Spyderco Para 3. This one features a M390 blade, which is the DLT Trading exclusive, which came with these red G10 scales. This one is outfitted with the skinny radar scales from Cerberus, and I believe these ones are made out of G10. They do not have any type of diamond texture like Spyderco does from the factory. They are pretty smooth to the touch, besides the lines that are milled into these. So hopefully you can see them. If not, I'll put you over on the tabletop view once I get done with this stuff. But yeah, I have 3 Para 3s right now. I've had 4. The 4th one was the lightweight, which it wasn't a bad knife, but I just never carried it. Wasn't really my thing. And going through the summer, it can be 100 degrees outside, and I'm wearing basketball shorts or sweat shorts, and I'll have one of my large folders in my pocket and it doesn't really bother me. The only time that starts bothering me is when I'm carrying multiple knives. So this is the time of the year that you really don't see me carrying more than 2 knives that much, and the Para 3 makes a great option for a secondary carry, for me. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not whiny about things in my pocket. So for some people, 1 Para 3 might be all they need as far as the knife or knives that they're carrying that day. 1 Para 3 will suffice, and it'll take care of any EDC task you throw at it. You have maybe 2.5 inch blade, little over 2 inches of cutting edge. That's enough for most tests that you would come across on a daily basis, and of course that's going to depend on your job. But let's see, this blade features a belt satin finish, which I always liked Spyderco's belt satin finish. And the neat thing is, if you have a lot of these exclusives in the different blade steels, I really like getting the satin blade versions if it's available, if that's an option, because you can compare how the steels actually look side by side, and you'll notice that say a belt satin finish in M390 versus a belt satin finished in S30V, and a belt satin finished in K390, and a belt satin finished in M4, and belt satin finish in S90B, or Z-wear, or crew wear, or CTS XHP, or I don't think they don't do a belt satin finish for the Max and Matte. I'm looking over at my case. LC200N 20 CV. So let's see, any other ones that they make that I don't have. ZDP 189, HAP 40, Rex 45, S45VN, S35VN. I don't have those currently. But yeah, Spyderco offers a ton of steel. They are a pioneer. They lead the way for a lot of these other companies as far as bringing new blade steels to market, bringing us the stuff that we want on knives. They invest a lot of money and time and effort into the research and development of bringing these steels to market. So, you know, any knife company can go and buy, you know, batches of whatever steel you want, whether you're getting it from Bowler or Crucible or Carpenter, or I mean, that's the main ones that Spyderco uses. So you can go to any of those places and get batches of any steel you want, but that doesn't mean that it's ready to make it into a knife and put it right on the market. You have to figure out the heat treat, which pretty much all blade steels that anybody has seen on a production knife has already gone through the research and development. They have already figured out optimal heat treat. They've already figured out, you know, how to grind it, how to sharpen it, how to, you know, any adjustments they need to make in order to make blades that are going to pass their quality control and perform at a level that is a good representation of the optimal performance of that steel when it's being used as a blade. So Spyderco does this better than any other company that I know, and that's why I'm such a big Spyderco fan, and that's why I have more Spyderco knives than any other knife in my collection. I mean, just right here on this table, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 8 knives. 4 out of 8 knives are Spydercos. And then as far as the other ones go, there are no duplicates of any single company. They're all of the other 4 are all different companies. So just goes to show you. But anyways, I'm carrying this one because I just sharpened this up yesterday for the first time. This one I haven't really carried, like I said, or I forgot to say because I went off on another tangent. The Para 3 is a great knife. It fits perfect in my hand. It's very, very easy to manipulate. If you think the Paramilitary 2 is easy to fidget with and, you know, just flick, close it, and you wear like a size large glove, the Para 3 is absolutely perfect with this forward finger choil that you have right there, which I love how Spyderco does that because they're not taking away a lot of the cutting edge. I also like how they do the ricasso instead of just rounding off the plunge. See if I have an example of that. Here. So, see, this has a kind of tapers down from the plunge grind or whatever, whereas with the Spyderco, they have a ricasso, which it's just a flat ground section back here, and that extends all the way to the back where it interfaces with the lock bar and, you know, your pivot area. All of this area from here to that where it interfaces with the lock bar is all one thickness and it's all flat, and then this has a full flat grind, so they grind the blade from, you know, that line forward, and when they grind it down on each side, they don't taper it down or anything. They just leave it there like a ledge, and I'm sure they're probably not the first ones to do this or whatever, but it's something that you'll see on pretty much every Spyderco that I can think of off the top of my head. And the cool thing about it is that once you put a good edge on it and bring that edge all the way back to the ricasso, because from the factory there will be just the smallest part of the edge that won't be sharpened, and it's just the smallest part. Not a big deal at all. It doesn't really affect anything. A lot of people like to put in a sharpening choil, which I could do a whole lot easier than bringing the edge all the way back to the ricasso. The reason I choose not to do that is because sharpening choils for me just pose a problem, which one of my biggest pet peeves when I'm cutting is when I'm, you know, cutting through something and I get caught up, and what do you know, I look at it and I've ran into my sharpening choil, and I gotta pull the knife out, you know, or wiggle it around, try to get it situated and back on track and start cutting again. And then what do you know, you run into that sharpening choil again and get caught up, and it's just extremely frustrating. But when you bring that edge all the way back to the ricasso, you will not get caught up. And when you get to this back part of the cutting edge, when you're cutting along there, you're not gonna get caught up on anything, because that ledge keeps you from pretty much coming past your cutting edge onto this area. So it keeps you in the material and keeps your cut going without getting caught up on anything. I'm sure there was a better way that I could have said that in less words, but it's early and I'm doing the best I can, guys. So anyways, just sharpen this up, 17 degrees per side, 600 grit, then I stropped it. I stropped it a good bit. I've been experimenting with different things, trying to just get the absolute sharpest, nastiest edge possible. So I'm going to be experimenting with lower grits, and then different stropping procedures, different different extents of stropping. Whether I might do a whole series of micron rated gunny juice on basswood or leather, or I may just only use one grit rating and only do a couple passes or something. I'm literally testing out all kinds of different combinations in search of, I guess what you could say would be my signature working grit type of finish edge that I can offer for my sharpening services, which you can have me do that service for you right now and it'll be ridiculously sharp. But I'm just testing stuff out. I'm always seeking to see what kind of results I can get from different stuff, and seeing what works, seeing what does really good, seeing what doesn't do good. And that's just one of the little ways that we can make progress in this hobby, and when it comes to the performance of these steels and the level of sharpness that we can get out of these blades. So yeah, that's something I'll be messing around with this while I'm at work today. Shout out to Ken Harris. He is sending out 2 knives for me to sharpen. So they should be here within a couple of days, and I might be able to get some footage of me sharpening those. He is sending me 2 Vero Axons. One is the full size, one is a mini. One's getting a 1000 grit edge, which is the full size, and then on the mini he wants to do a full mirror polish, like all out, both at 17 degrees per side. So that'll be cool. And that covers what I'm carrying today. The reason for these other guys that are on the table, because this is some of the knives that I have sharpened recently since my last videos that I've done. This one I sharpened up the other day. This one I sharpened up the other day. This one I sharpened the other day. This one I sharpened the other day. This one I sharpened live with you guys a couple weeks or a month or so ago, maybe 2 months ago, who knows. But I did that live in the shop, and by the end of the video I had it cutting decent and all, but I worked on it a little bit more, made a little bit of changes to it, and now I think this thing is insanely sharp. So it was good before, but I wanted to get a little bit better. So I'm always striving to push the limits, you know, kind of see how far I can take it. And then this one, because this is one of my most carried Spydercos, I show it to you guys all the time, but this is a knife that when I carry this, I never question whether I should be proud that I'm carrying this knife or not. Eric and Sal Glesser, the father and son owners and founders of Spyderco, they both collaborated and designed this knife. This knife is manufactured in the USA in Golden, Colorado. This is a exclusive from the Knife Joker, which is a smaller knife dealer, which this Shaman was an extremely small batch, one of the most rare exclusive Shamans, pretty much impossible to get your hands on. If you wanted to get one of these that's still in box, you're looking at $500, $600, $700. For a user in good shape, you're looking at $400 minimum. And that's very, very unlikely unless somebody was being generous. I happened to find somebody that was being very generous back before I started the channel, and I bought this from my buddy Angelo Succi, or I'm sure I slaughtered his last name, I'm sorry, bro. I met him over at the Spyderco Millie PM2 pair. Spyderco Millie PM2 P3 Club. It's a Facebook group. Best knife community on the internet, besides you guys that are here on my channel, of course. Amazing guys. I've made so many great friends over there. He hooked me up, and my buddy Steven Scott, who I just became friends with him. We were chatting all the time, talking about what knives we were looking for, what knives we liked, this and that. Well, he gave me the heads up that Angelo had just put this up for sale, and it was a killer deal. He had it up for $280, which this sold for maybe $230, $225, $230 when it was you know, from the dealer. the very limited amount that they had of them, now they're pretty much, you can't find them. But anyway, this was when this knife was still rare, still selling for $400 easily. I jumped right on it because at the time I had the money and I knew I would never see this knife at that price, you know, ever again. It's one of those once in a lifetime opportunities. And so I bought the knife from Angelo. That was my first time interacting with him. Since then, I've become great friends with him. And it's funny because I actually ended up getting these scales from him. I traded him some titanium met embossed scales that I had bought. And these are the Flytanium carbon fiber scales. These are absolutely amazing. Way, way nicer than the previous Flytanium carbon fiber scales that I had, which were for the regular MANIX 2. That carbon fiber, it looked almost like it wasn't real or anything. This looks more raw and authentic, and it glistens when the sun hits it, and it has that matte kind of finish to it. And oh man, it's very nice. It's just perfect. Trust me. Out of all the Shamans that I have, all the different scales, these are my favorite. And I like the skinny scales. I've done several skinny mods. I have another nice Shaman with skinny scales, but this is by far my favorite. Very comfortable. It's light. It sounds the best. It improves the sound of this knife tremendously. So he hooked me up with the knife. He also hooked me up with the scales. And guess what? He also hooked me up with the green anodized titanium hardware, including the stop pin and the clip screws. He does anodizing and he is extremely good. So if you are trying to get some anodized titanium in one of the high voltage colors that not a lot of people do, or you're not sure if they do it well, I can 100% for an absolute fact guarantee tell you that Angelo's anodizing is extremely well done, doesn't fade, stays vibrant, looks amazing, it's durable. You don't have to clean it all the time for it to look good. It's great stuff. So it's funny that all the components of this I pretty much got from him except for the clip. I ordered that straight from Lynch Northwest. Shout out to Casey Lynch. He makes great clips. So yeah, and it wasn't all at the same time either. So this is one, I've had different scales on this and different configurations, and this is just the final form that it has taken. And oh my God, I think that is just about as close to the perfect, cleanest looking Shaman setup that I've ever seen. And it's probably my favorite knife. And this one is also sharpened by me on the KME. This is at 15 degrees per side, very slicey. I sharpened this a while back, but I've used it a lot since, and it has stayed sharp. But I wanted to just get that edge just a little more spicy, so I did a little bit of stropping and all, and this thing, it's right back with the fresh edges. And yeah, these other ones are fresh edges. This one I did a long time ago, just a little bit of stropping, and it's right back, same sharpness level as those. And I mean, these are all super steel, well, not this one, but these are all super steels, all done well, all extremely sharp. I was just impressed with that, so that's why I have this one out. And this is probably getting really long, so I'm probably not going to do the tabletop view on this one because I'm not going to have time to edit it and all, or it won't be uploaded until sometime tonight. So I want to get it out today. Forgot to put one on the table, and I want to do a little bit of cutting for you guys and show you how sharp all these are. This one of my other Shamans, probably my second favorite. This is the Cutlery Shop exclusive and CTS XHP blade steel. This has a stonewash blade, very cool. Not a whole lot of Spydercos come in stonewash, but when they do it very well. This one sharpened the same exact way, and this one is rocking skinny micarta scales from Serpent's Run Customs. Shout out to Chris Burns. He makes some really nice scales. I'm not a huge micarta fan, but I love these scales. And this one has a MXG gear clip, and it has the factory hardware. It was just regular silver hardware, and I heat anodized it and made it bronze, including the stop pin. So pretty cool combination. This is another blade steel that really surprised me. Extremely high performer, and it blows my mind because the components or the elements or whatever that makes up the CTS XHP, the powdered metals, it's a very simple recipe, and it's very similar to D2. It's a tool steel. It's a very simple tool steel, but you get with a well done heat treat, which Spyderco kills. You get very good edge retention. You get good toughness, and it's not stainless, but it is more corrosion resistant than a lot of other carbon tool steels. This one, I do not put anything on this blade to protect it, and the only thing you might see on here is maybe some smudges from using it and touching it, but there's no patina, no rust, and this thing stayed sharp longer than any of my other. I have 3 Shamans now. I've had 4. This has stayed sharper than all of my other ones for the longest amount of time. It had a nasty sharp, keen edge straight out of the box, and it kept that edge with just occasional stropping for a long time, longer than any of my other Spydercos, besides maybe my Knife Joy exclusive. Sorry about that. Hold on, I need a sip of something. Okay. Besides this guy, the Knife Joy exclusive Spyderco Swish Buoy, this is an M390, and this one is manufactured in the Taichung, Taiwan factory, which they do Spyderco's high-end knives. Amazing knife. This is a pricey one. These retail at $400, and there was a limited amount made. They haven't made any more, even though they were supposed to, and these go, even a beat up user, you're rarely gonna find it below 400. When these first dropped, They sold out within minutes, and by the end of that day, they were on eBay going for, you know, up to $1,000. So insane. But I waited it out. I got this probably 6 months, 7 months after the drop, once things have kind of calmed down, and you know, everybody that was willing to pay ridiculous prices to the scalpers, they had all got theirs. The scalpers had all sold their you know, knives that they bought just to sell at a profit, which I really don't like people that do that. I mean, I can't blame them. It's smart. It's capitalism. It's America. It's your right. But if you're a member of the community, it does kind of make you a piece of shit. I mean, if one guy didn't do it, the next one who bought it, you know, probably would. But maybe the next guy wouldn't do that, and maybe the next guy just wanted it to keep and enjoy and use or collect or whatever, and wasn't going to try and profit off of someone else. So who knows, whatever. This one still has the factory edge. This is one of only 2 Spydercos out of my whole collection that one of 2 that still have the factory edge. All my other ones now have been sharpened and have KME edges. So the only reason I haven't sharpened this is because it's still very sharp. Doesn't need it. Oh, and of course, right as I say that, maybe, is it making a liar out of me? All right, it is still sharp. This one is probably finally getting to that point where it could use an edge. I'm sure I could bring it back on the strop, but to get it as sharp as I really want it, I might have to put it on the stones, finally. Then the other one that I haven't sharpened yet, the only reason is because I really don't carry it or use it. So yeah, let's check out some of these other edges. This is the CIVIVI Chevalier. For those of you that are on a little bit of a smaller budget, that's all right, because this one comes in at $60, I believe. I will link this in the description below. Excellent budget knife. This one is rocking 14C28N blade steel, which is not a super steel, but it is at the top of the food chain as far as budget steels go, and I've been really impressed with its performance. I sharpened this at 15 degrees per side. It's super thin behind the edge, so it looks like, you know, maybe a 20 degree per side edge, but that's actually at 15 degrees per side. So that's pretty cool. This thing sharpened up easy. The only thing, I think the blade grind is just a hair uneven, but no big deal. It performs amazing. I didn't even spend a lot of time on this edge. This was like a quick edge because it's not a super hard steel. So I was able to reprofile it in a not a crazy amount of time. And that on top of the fact that the profile of the blade, it's an easy blade shape to sharpen when it comes to reprofiling. Some blade shapes when you're reprofiling, the tip can give you a hard time, or the heel will give you a really hard time, and you'll fight with it a little bit if you're OCD like me, in order to get everything nice and even and symmetrical from side to side. That's the way that I like it, and I think that it should be. But sometimes it takes a lot of work to do that. On this, I didn't go through all that, but damn. Whoa, I got so lucky. This edge slid up above that one. That would be really shitty if I put a chip in this edge that I literally just sharpened yesterday. But all right, let's stay on track. Great knife, very sharp. Yeah, I need to get my ass to work. Let's see what's next. We'll do this one. This is the EMP EDC Nimble. Shout out to Chris. He is an amazing viewer that gifted this and the Kaiser Towser K to me just for the hell of it. And a nice handwritten letter along with it. And both of those knives arrived at a time when I was really, kind of down and out and stressed out, and it really brightened up my day. And that wasn't even part of his intentions, I don't think. I think he was just doing something nice and generous because he enjoys the channel, and he's just an awesome, generous, type of guy. But it kind of ironically, the timing worked out pretty much perfectly, that when I was pretty much the most stressed out and bummed out is when that package arrived. And I was expecting just this, which is still, that is a very generous gift. This is a $300 knife. I was extremely shocked and surprised to find that he also had purchased the green anodized titanium hardware set for this, included it with it. It wasn't installed yet, still brand new in the package, so I got to install all of it myself. And also in the box, or the package, whatever, was the Kaiser Towser K, which I wasn't expecting a second knife. So I was really blown away. I'm pretty sure it may have brought tears to my eyes, and it wouldn't be the first, and I'm sure it's not going to be the last. A lot of you guys are really amazing, and just anyone who has helped out this channel in any way, showed support in any way, whether you're bringing other people to the channel, you're sharing the videos, you're liking, you're always commenting, which there's a handful of you that comment every video. Shout out to you guys. You guys, that makes a big difference, leaving comments and stuff. Anybody who has gifted anything as far as knives, or donated stuff for my last giveaway that I did when I hit 1K. Anthony Griffin, he's a big one. Scott Gunn, the owner, creator of the Gunny products, Gunny Juice, Gunny Glide. He now has a stone, it's a honing oil / stone cleaner called Gunny Shines. And he has a new stropping cloth that he literally, it hasn't hit any of the dealers yet. He has it for sale at Blade Show. It's like this type of nano cloth that is actually, it has the diamonds in it and it's different grip ratings, and it can also be loaded with the gunny juice, which is uh, polycrystalline diamond emulsion. And I haven't tried it, but it's supposed to be some really good stuff, and it's designed to not load, so it's not going to load up with steel, and that's really cool. So I hope to check that out soon. I'm sure that's going to be some amazing stuff. Scott, very smart guy. He's a big chemistry buff. um, all of his products are based off of science, and the reason they perform the way they do, it's literally all scientific. And he's been big in the knife community. First off, he's been an amazing upstanding guy in the community for a long time, always helping people. And then on top of that, another reason I really like him, he is very well known in the sharpening community. He is probably one of the best sharpeners out there. Uh, I mean, he is literally a guru. He has a YouTube channel with a handful of videos on there called Gunny's Sharp Talk. Lots of good tips videos on there. I've learned a lot from him. Um, Not only that, he is very generous. He's always helping out others. I've seen him do so many nice things for other people, including myself. He donated a lot of product for my 1K giveaway. He donated product for me to give away to 3 people. So I had 3 winners. That was that was really nice of him. And then I bought some of his products, and he basically, to help support the channel and what I'm doing here, he sent me an entire set of gunny juice, all of his pivot oils, even though I already had the gunny glide, but he sent me the gunny magic, which is his OTF formula. He sent me the gunny slides, which is for detents and your more not drop shut knives, your hydraulic kind of like Chris Reeves, Sabenzas, and that kind of deal. Maybe Spartan Harcy, and it's also made for firearms. And then the entire set of gunny juice, that's insane. That's each bottle is what, $20? He sent me 10 bottles. That is ridiculously generous. As well as his honing oil stone cleaner, gunny shines. So yeah, he has been a huge supporter of the channel. Anytime I've ever had a question about sharpening, I got stumped on something, he has always helped me. He'll I've always pretty much picked up on what he was trying to explain pretty easily every time. So he's never had to go to any crazy extent. But if I wasn't understanding, I'm sure he's the type of guy, he would FaceTime and walk me through it, no questions asked. Just like that, no questions asked. He's that kind of guy, and never expect anything in return. Scott is a really good guy. He's helped, well, I already said that, but he is just like, when I think of the type of person that I want to be in the community, the example that I want to set for others, the leader that I want to be, it's somebody like Scott. That is the kind of person that I have respect and admiration for, because he's a pioneer. He is a knife enthusiast just like us. He is a sharpening guru, sharpening enthusiast, just like myself, just like a lot of you guys, and just like a lot of you will become or are soon to become. And he also is a believer and follower of Christ. And it's not just, you know, by a Facebook post or just words coming out of his mouth. It literally shows by his actions. I can 100% attest that he's a great example of a good Christian man also. I mean, all of us here are sinners. We all fall short, but I mean, he's doing a lot right, and I have a lot of respect for him. So big shout out to Scott. Anthony Griffin, he sent me stuff for the giveaway. He has gifted me knives. He has done custom work to several scales for me. He sent me boxes of knives several times, all kinds of stuff. He walked me through on the phone how to replace a detent the first time, prior to me making the video showing you guys how to do it. Awesome guy. Just, yeah, this video is probably getting insanely long, but yeah, there's some stuff that I just haven't shared with you guys, and I like to shine a little bit of light onto some other kinds of things sometimes, and other people in the community that are just doing really good things. And Jared Needs Knives, he's one of them. He has been a tremendous support of the channel. Why is it? Oh, don't cut my finger. Was gonna. It's getting hung up towards the back here. Alright, so this one needs some work. That's why I always test stuff out, guys. I would never send a knife like that, even though for most people's standards it's still sharp as shit, but it's not acceptable as far as what I would send out. This is the Knife Joy exclusive 20 CV DLC coated, 17 degrees per side, and this has the DLT trading scales on it. Did I do this one yet? Oh, did I show you this one? Wow. Yeah. Okay. CTS XHP Color Shop. Blade HQ exclusive Spyderco Native and CPM M4 blade steel. This one came out nasty. And of course, as soon as I say that, I guarantee it's probably gonna get snag or some shit, because that's just the way it goes. It's Murphy's Law. Yeah, but that's ridiculously sharp. The Zero Tolerance 0562 Ti, amazing knife. And yeah, I think that covers all of them. Besides this one, which I have not sharpened or messed with recently, but alright, so this one could use some work, but it still cuts great. And yeah, this isn't one of the ones that I've recently sharpened. So, alright guys, let's wrap this up. This is probably long as shit. It'll probably be nighttime by the time you guys see this anyway, but I gotta get my ass to work. I love you guys. Thank you all for watching. Jesus loves you. Stay tuned, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. Oh yeah. Make sure you guys do me a favor. Have yourselves a wonderful day. Peace.